Hello and welcome. Today we have some important updates with the next stimulus package, the next potential stimulus checks, and the $600 additional unemployment insurance benefit program. So this is going to be a real quick one. That way I can get you the facts and you can get right back to your day. So starting right off, in second stimulus news, we have some pretty big updates here that are actually pretty promising, to be completely honest. Treasury Secretary Mnuchin yesterday said there is a strong likelihood that another coronavirus relief bill will be needed. He said, and this is a quote, "We're going to carefully review the next few weeks. I think there is a strong likelihood that we'll need another bill, but we just had the $3 trillion that we're pumping into the economy. We're going to step back for a few weeks and think very clearly how we need to spend more money and if we need to do that." That's a fair assessment, but let's break this down just a little bit further. So the step back and wait part is what we've been hearing all along. There's still hundreds of billions of dollars from the original CARES Act that's yet to be spent on the programs that it's allocated to. So yes, we really don't have a clear picture of the effectiveness yet, and I mean, it'll take a while to get all that data, and many people just simply aren't working and not collecting that data right now. So even if we were rushing right now to get another stimulus, we probably wouldn't see anything for another at least 2 weeks, most likely. And for people to actually receive payments, much longer than that. I mean, there's a lot of people who haven't even received the first stimulus payment yet. But the really interesting part is him saying there's a strong likelihood of another stimulus. And this is really what I've been saying all along, that if the economy doesn't pick up very quickly, the need for additional stimulus basically goes through the roof. It seems that more and more people are agreeing that an additional package is needed as time passes. This is because I think many people from the Republican Party were under the assumption that the rebound of the economy would be really quick. And then as more time passes and we're seeing that it might be a slower rebound, that basically paves the way that we may need an additional stimulus package as time passes. So that's really all we have on that. Moving on to unemployment news. This portion is not good news. It's frustrating, it's sad, but I feel the need to report both the good and the bad that are going on. So please don't shoot the messenger here. I just want to get you guys all the facts that I can find. So the 9-week jobless claim rate has been updated today. We're now at 38.6 million people out of work because of the pandemic. This number is unfortunately expected to continue to increase, at least in the short term. In the long term, of course, it will go down. They're estimating somewhere around 9% for next year, but it's really too soon to tell anything like that as of right now. Here's some more quick stats that I found on thehill.com. They did a small survey. 47.5% of all households were reporting job losses. More than half of households with incomes under $50,000 say they've seen their income slide. 10% of Americans say they've been unable to pay either their rent or their mortgages on time, with 1/5 saying that they have little to no confidence that they'll be able to pay next month's rent or mortgage. And what's really interesting is the least affected groups seem to be the older working citizens, the younger people being the most affected. People with bachelor's degrees or higher seem to be not as affected by the pandemic, and those who live in rural areas where the pandemic was slower to reach aren't nearly as affected from what's going on. So all of these not so great stats, coupled with the next piece of news from just the other day, Mitch McConnell stated that the $600 boost in unemployment that was part of the original CARES Act will likely not be on future bills. Their major issue being that they feel that the current unemployment stimulus plan creates a disincentive to work, saying it's especially an issue for individuals who had been offered back to work but then refuse. The Treasury Secretary Mnuchin also stated that the quirk with unemployment needs to be fixed. Basically, the quirk being that people are making more on unemployment than they did while they're at work. So of course, people are going to want to be on unemployment if they're making more money and it's taking less energy. So they're saying these issues need to be addressed. However, it is worth noting that these are just preliminary decisions made as of right now. The continuance of increased unemployment benefits is a huge piece of legislation for many Democratic members. So I wouldn't say, even though Mitch is against it, that it's impossible to be included on future plans. I mean, this is the same person who had said that he will not sign off on any form of increased funding for states, and then later said, yeah, we might have to do it. So I wouldn't say it's impossible to be included on like future plans, but it's not looking great right now that it'll be, the same amount or that program exactly will continue. If it's added, it might be at a lower dollar amount with a few stipulations, like if you're offered to work and decline, the benefits will be taken away, which I find reasonable as long as you're working in a safe environment where you're not at risk to get sick. So I know this wasn't great news on the latter half of the video, but this is all I have on today on the next stimulus package and the unemployment benefit stimulus package. I hope that all of you are hanging in there, and I really hope that you all have a profitable day. Thanks.